Yes, indeed. Peace, 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 and blessings. What's going down, my people? I am Mr. Tom Brody, and you just tuned in to the Cheers to the Real podcast. It's the one and only underground platform discussing art, music, and New York culture. You know what it is. I'm your host, Mr. Tom Brody. Blessings, my people. So we here, man. It's another episode. Keeping it real funky, keeping it underground, keeping it hip-hop. Blasting off on a live podcast, and on this particular episode, we're gonna have a special guest, because I kind of wanted to highlight not only underground culture, but you know, the artistry of producing and making clothing and kind of running your own fashion brand. I always thought that was a skill that some people just they come correct, man, and it's a grind, because I've always felt that. You know, the hip hop fashion end of it definitely influenced the world, and you know, I'm gonna bring up a special guest. I'm gonna let him introduce himself, and you know, we'll break down some stuff. So, oh, there you go. What's good, my people? So I'm gonna, you know, introduce yourself to everyone, and we got it right here. There we go. Peace, peace, peace. Yo, what's good, my brother?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes, peace, peace. Yo, what's good, my brother?
Peace, my brother. Everything is good, man. I'm just making sure the audio is
Yeah,
good.
man. Yo, first and foremost, man, regardless of anything, I'm always a fan of coming up in person. We're gonna do this correct. You know what I mean?
No doubt,
Absolutely,
no doubt.
absolutely. But yo, introduce yourself to the people, man.
Well, I go by the name of BOBBITO ROSS, hailing from Jamaica, Queens, New York City.
Yes, sir.
And I'm currently in the state of Georgia right now.
All right. No doubt, no doubt. So I want to, just so you understand the premise of the platform, you know, it is Cheers to the Real, where we discuss art, music, culture, things trending, things that are current, views, and, you know, just building with like-minded people and giving people that platform.
Gotcha.
Definitely want to give you kudos, because I respect the grind. I love the labor of love that you got going out here. I love what you're doing. I respect the work, you know. And I definitely want everyone to listen and tune in. And I want to give this brother the platform to kind of, you know, let y'all people know what he's working on.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. Appreciate the love, man. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be in here. I mean, I always tell people, any day you wake up in the morning, it's a blessing. Everything else after that, it's just one day closer to get to where you got to go to. You know what I'm saying?
And my brother's up here because he pretty much is a clothing designer. And as I was saying on the intro, I always felt that hip hop fashion is not only is a just a staple and a part of hip hop, but it's influenced the world. So fashion and hip hop is so intertwined. Kind of want to give a perspective of, you know, you being a clothing designer. How do you feel your roots with hip hop and clothing and fashion? You know, break it down for the people.
I mean, it all starts from, you know, your culture and your roots, where you come from. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm a 1975 baby. You know what I'm saying? So right there, I told you my age. I'm 46.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I grew up in a household. My pops listens to salsa music. I'm Borican. I'm from the island of Puerto Rico.
Yes, sir.
So a lot of that has a lot of influence, you know, Black culture, you know what I'm saying, being that as well. But my artwork pretty much coincides with the actual fashion, because everything mixes together. You know what I'm saying? You are a walking billboard as well. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You know, my first love, to just break that down, was graffiti. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
So from graph and watching Saturday morning cartoons, Hanna-Barbera, everything of that nature, you know what I'm saying? That pretty much fused everything, you know what I'm saying? I go back to the time when trains were double letters, CC, the AA,
yes, sir.
the DD, everything
yes,
was, you know, double, so they chopped it off and
yes,
made everything
sir.
singular. You know what I mean? So
the circle windows.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard, man, because it's like hip hop is who I am. You know, it's just part of what, you know, it's hard to say, like, it's part of your DNA. It automatically becomes what you are.
But it really is. You kind of manifest, you as an artist, but you kind of manifest because you live in it. You're doing it every day. It's a real lifestyle grind.
I mean, I walk, talk, live, you know, do everything hip hop. You know what I'm saying? And in culmination with everything else that I actually grafted throughout the years, you know, listen to freestyle music, house music, jungle music, salsa music, you know, so it's a mixture of so many different genres, basically a lot of Black culture, pretty much.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And that pretty much is what pushes what I do. Like, I just do it. You know what I'm saying? People always ask me how you come up with the ideas. I'm like, yo, man, the spirit speaks to the hand needs to get done. Let's just do it. Let's just talk about it and let's do what we got to do now. You know what I'm saying?
And for those that are listening, you need to really tune in and check what the brother is doing. I think we do share a lot of like-minded people, you know, through the industry and through the streets.
Of course,
and I will say, I definitely love how you're bringing in the cultural, you know, there's a renaissance and there's a cultural respect to it that I appreciate, because I'm a firm believer that, you know, we may be from the U.S., but you got to acknowledge the root, you got to acknowledge the island, and you definitely salute a lot of those historical icons in the body of work that you're doing.
Yeah, I salute that to my Pop Dukes, man. He transitioned a few years ago, you know what I'm saying? So that, you know, bringing that understanding to where we come from. Yo, like I tell everybody every day, if you ain't got no roots, you can't solidify the tree. You know what I'm saying?
So true.
So if you don't got no roots to where you come from, and think about it, you got to pay respect, salute to all your ancestors who got you here, because they went through a lot more worse shit than we've been through. You know what I'm saying? To even give us the opportunity for you and I to even have this platform.
Well
so
said.
We can't use it or abuse it. You get what I'm saying?
Right. Well said.
So, you know, I always give, you know, it's not even like I always have to, because it's something that's automatic. You know what I'm saying? My work pretty much speaks for itself. I don't try to put the PR flag in there. It's something that happens automatic. You know what I'm saying? I don't try to put certain colors or connect it back into, you know, the whole of Africa. But that's something that your spirit dictates.
Of course.
You know, in the life that we live, you got a purpose. So, you know, I'm really living, one of my purposes is pretty much bring connection of where I'm from, but living across the water. You know what I'm saying?
And for the people who've never been to Puerto Rico, that, you know, you have to understand, it's not only there's the politics kind of crazy within itself, but there is a strong attachment to the Afro root, whether it's bomba music or. So, you know, like I said, I salute that I see with the Abiso Campos T-shirts, and I love it, bro. I love it. I was like, oh, I love it. I love it.
Campos for Rompetancia.
Yes, sir.
You know, the list goes on, you know what I'm saying? Because Lolita Lebron, you know what I'm saying? Because these are our superheroes, not Batman, not Superman, not Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying? That's just a figment of somebody else's imagination. But in reality, we have people that are actually living that life, doing what they can do for the culture, like the Young Lords as well.
That's right. That's right.
Know what I'm saying? So, you know, my job or what I do is just keep their spirit on, you know what I'm saying? Because once you lose that spirit, I mean, can you really say you Puerto Rican? Can you really say that you have any type of identity where you're from? You know what I'm saying? So I try to just keep that that spirit, keep moving. So at least my kid, my daughter, she can understand where we from, and maybe somebody else can actually take that piece.
That's a fact.
Building upon it. You know what I'm saying?
And as you're saying it, you would think that in our public school system, these icons should be taught, you know, alongside the ones that we kind of learn now that are a little shadowed upon. But, you know, listen.
You know the mathematics behind that, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you can't let, you know, what it is that we come from a very strong line of powerful people.
Right.
You know what I mean? So to keep us at bay, you can't teach people what we know. But the good thing about it is, that responsibility goes for you and me and the parents at home. School really begins at home. School don't begin in the education system. The education system keeps you constructed to work in their environment.
Right.
Mommy and daddy, abuela, tia, your aunts, your uncles, everybody who's a caretaker, the elders is what they got to institute into you. But as you get older, it's up to you to make that decision. You can't be like, well, they didn't teach me. I'm like, yo, I always tell people, you got a smartphone. Let that smartphone be something beside the phone that keeps you in the cell.
Say it loud, brother. Say it loud. That's right.
Don't allow your iPhone to dictate certain things. Don't get caught up in the stream. Don't get caught up in, you know, he, she, what they wear, how they look. Because most of it is not real anyway. That's you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a facade. You know what I'm saying? All that shit wins away. So, you know, we as the elders, because we the elders now. You know what I'm saying? We have to teach. So, for me personally, going back to your initial question, you know what I'm saying? The fashion and the art would coincide together because that's just one and one together. You know what I'm saying? Like I was always taught to dress like every day is a Sunday, like you going to church and shit. You know what I'm saying? Dress your flyest as possible.
Pretty much. Yeah. And I think people may not really understand, like when you go back, whether it's the 70s, the 60s, like hood youth always had their own little flair.
We dress fly.
That's it.
We dress fly with the basic means of what we had. You know what I mean? We had all the money. You know what I'm saying? But we took like the basic stuff and made it popping. which how, you know, a lot of stuff now, a lot of clothing lines pretty much copy and gimmick,
Yeah.
copy and gimmick off everything else. You know what I'm saying?
Unfortunately, I think you. Let me ask you. So you as a clothing designer, you're an artist. You're putting out your passion and your labor out there. How do you feel when you see our peers and maybe friends supporting some of these brands that have a different agenda? They may not care about our people per se, but yet they're out here buying, you know, a $400 T-shirt or makes you scratch your head.
At the end of the day, man, you know, I can't worry about what they got to do.
Go
You know
ahead.
what I'm saying?
Go ahead.
I can't focus on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's more about what I got to do. So by me paying mine to them, you know what I'm saying? I'm kind of distracted. And I can't allow myself to
There
get
you
caught
go.
in that distraction.
Giving it power. Yeah, I hear you. I hear
All I
you.
got to do is you can't feed that energy. What you do is you supply the energy within yourself and you drop the real shit. The real ones are going to recognize it. Well, the ones that really can see it is going to recognize it and move that part of the culture forward. You know what I'm saying? Like, this to let you know real quick, I always tell people all the time, you know, we are the culture. You know what I'm saying?
Love it, my brother. I love it. Love it,
We
my
are the
brother.
we are the culture. So on that note, I pay no mind to that because that's what they want you to.
Right.
They want you to talk about it. They want you to, you know, to be on a podcast talking about it. They want you to put that shit on your Instagram feed. They want so much garbage out there to put it in your mind. So that pretty much holds a space. Your mind is like a mansion. You got to eliminate all that nonsense.
Absolutely.
And keep everything else in there that actually matters. So to your initial question, what you asked me, I'll pay that shit no mind, son. As long as my interior, like my fam, my daughter, I keep my daughter on point. She's 14 years old.
Right.
A future queen in the process, you know what I'm saying? It's our responsibility to make sure that they don't lead into those same traps. That's what really is a trap. You know what I mean? Not the trap that, you know what I mean, people be talking about. That's just another form of another trap. You know what I mean? But the more you pay mind to a lot of bend hot shit that really don't make no sense.
It is a trap. It is a trap because I always felt if these people put the same energy to supporting this underground movement of like-minded people, I think that would pay dividend, right? Getting it from the dirt, from the bottom, and supporting your peers, that pays homage. I wanted to share something with you that I thought was a little eye-opening. I have an article. I don't know if you can see it up. Can you see it up on your end on the screen?
It's starting to pop up now. Yeah, I got it. If musician brand collaborations you need to know about. 16 musicians.
Yeah, so I popped something up and I thought it would be a conversation piece, being that we're out here grinding. There's a handful of these musicians that they do amazing branding. So I gotta give credit where credit is due. When I see these younger kids coming up and they're pulling off these deals with New Balance. They're pulling off these amazing deals. I pulled up also Bad Bunny. Let me show you what Bad Bunny did. So Bad Bunny got this collabo now with Adidas. Bro. So just to bring it 360 and culminate it, like to know where we came from, where this was music and this was a culture that was for the outcast, and to see how this is just so worldwide. It's a testimony, man. Like the hip hop culture has come a long way, my brother.
It's definitely come a long way, you know, and it's a blessing to them that they got to do what they do and they get what they get. But we also can't be blindsided by that. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, don't start loving my people now because we can make you some money.
Say it. I agree with you, brother. I agree.
Don't start utilizing us and actually help us promote to a certain market you can't reach. Don't promote to a certain neighborhood you can't walk into. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So a lot of times it's cool, you know, get your money, do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, be very minded of why they are using you, because as soon as they can dispose of you, they get somebody else. You know, Bad Bunny's hot now, so of course they're gonna want to collaborate. You know what I'm saying? And that just makes sense with a C.
Listen, he got the tourism bubbling in PR right now.
You know what I'm saying? So that's a good thing for the people. You know what I'm saying? But you know, at the end of the day, to each his own. Do what you got to do. I'm not gonna hate somebody else that got to get, you know, that got to pay those bills. You know what I'm saying? But you know, we all have a responsibility to take. You know what I'm saying?
I think the older we have gotten, you kind of understand the business behind the business, and you understand you kind of understand that a lot of these companies just have different agendas than maybe you and I.
Yeah, of course. And it's all about, you know, consumption, you know, supply and demand. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. But if you can utilize that to help build your capital and what you're trying to do,
absolutely,
by all means, you know, put that into actual some type of format and get it rolling.
and
You know what
this
I'm
is
saying?
why I want the people to understand. I love what you do because you've paved your own niche. You have your own lane. And you're a testimony to artists why I have the platform, because you don't have to conform. You got your own thing going on, and this is something that you yourself, and like you said, us as elders, we need to teach our people that you could create your own. You don't need the system behind you. You know, even a lot of artists now, when I talk to younger dudes, they have the perception of I need to be signed. You don't need to be signed.
No, not nowadays, and not even
No.
before. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Even now, you have so much opportunity with technology, you know what I'm saying, to go out there and get it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Once you get past that level of fear and you know that you can get anything you want, the sky is beyond the limit, because you can go beyond space, make it infinite. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to go out there and get it, man. That's all it is, man. If you want it that bad, and you'll get it. You'll make anything possible to get it. You know what I'm saying?
No, listen, it's all about the niche, man. If you have a few thousand people that really love and follow you and support you, that's all you really need nowadays. Whether it be the art, you know, whatever it may be, you know.
And it just starts building from there. And you know, the main thing I always tell people, man, along your journeys is treat people the same way you want to be treated in return. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Be genuine, have a good heart. You know what I'm saying? What you give out will come back, but don't even think about it. You know what I'm saying? You know, and that's really it. That's how I do what I do, man. I keep it genuine. I keep the authenticity, because, like, you know, Nas said it, no idea is original. You know what I'm saying? So we're just reproducing stuff that already has been done. But the thing what makes it different than ours is how I do. You know what I'm saying? You know, my love for Wu-Tang. People are like, oh, but this Wu-Tang, yes, I'm paying homage to a group of brothers at a certain time for me in high school, which was so pinnacle. You know what I mean? And they were a big movement. So it's not like you copying. It's then, if anything, it's saluting them, and I'm mashing up. You know what I'm saying? Like my work, my love for my people. That's beautiful. My love for what I love. And that's hip hop right there. That's hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
That's hip hop right there.
Those who know hip hop know hip hop.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if I have to explain it to people, they're not really hip hop. You don't really know the culture. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. You see them from the outside, and it's hard to tell, like, somebody who's a ball player how to play ball if you don't know how to play ball.
I've always scratched my head and say, yo, but how's your man gonna coach if he never played ball?
You might know the systematic. You know, a protocol, how to do things.
You know the metrics, but you don't know the layout.
It's different than when you actually physically on the court.
Right.
And you walk that walk and you talk that talk. So, you know, but, you know, like I said, man, everybody, you know, salute to those who's getting it. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad the culture allowed us individuals to get where they got to go, but just stay in mind of what you're doing and how you're doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So growing up, you know, as we were talking about labels and hip hop itself, growing up, what was some of the, you know, hip hop brands that you probably thought, like, I could kind of mold myself from this and get inspiration from?
I mean, like, one big brand that came out, you know, this is during my early, towards the ending of high school. I mean, you had Hilfiger, you had Polo was always big, you know what I'm saying? But Fat Farm, when Fat Farm first came out, Fat Farm was heavy because only a certain exclusive heads had Fat Farm. You know what I'm saying? Like, I used to have to get my fitted hats going downtown to the Ville.
His hats were ill, though. I ain't gonna lie. His hats were crazy. That was when he had the store on like Prince Street, right?
Yes, right there by Union. Yeah. There was a store called Union out there.
Yeah.
This is when Supreme had a spot by Soho Zack. You know what I mean? By West 4. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we had to go to these boutiques, as they call them, little 6 foot by 6 feet, little small ass store.
And the rent be astronomical.
But you got exclusive pieces that nobody else got.
Yeah.
So, you know, you had to hunt for it. So, you know what I'm saying? So that's one company that stuck out was Fat Farm. Because I remember as a kid, I had like an intern job working in a hat company, designing hats with another homie of mine.
Nice.
And, you know, I saw hats before they dropped, you know, samples of Donna Karan hats and all this other stuff. So I'll be rocking the samples before they even hit the street.
I'm not going to hold you. Donna Karan was popping for a minute, son.
So at that time, to be a Black owner and a Black designer, to have your own clothing line was something big. And the OGs were rocking it. So when I saw the OGs rocking, I'm like, yo, what's that? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's that shit right there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
for me, Fat Farm, you know, may he rest in peace. One of the homies named Magic, he would rock Fat Farm, and it would be very discreet, very little simple farm type of landscape.
I remember.
Very simple, you know what I'm saying? So as a kid, you know, high school days, you know what I mean? Like it was like, yo, that shit is dope, man. I mean, you know, Polo's always been there, Hilfiger's always been there. You know what I'm saying? Like it was before Polo became.
You know what's odd about the whole low thing is that the brand has nothing to do with how it got popular. Like
no, salute to Thurston House.
Yeah, son, like it's a bunch of real, you know, real BK, you know, NY youth that made it real buzz.
Some real street shit, you know what I'm saying?
Years later,
you don't pay for your low, you know what I mean?
Listen.
So it's different when, you know, times has changed, but those are the, you know, popular clothing lines as a kid. You know, we used to rock High-Techs for boots, you know what I'm saying? You know, a lot of Gore-Tex shit. We, you know, kids that are living in an urban neighborhood rocking hiking gear. We used to go to Paragon, down to, you know what I'm saying? So
Eddie Bauer,
you know, a lot of Field and Stream shit, J. Crew shit, you know what I mean? So as a hip hop kid, we took what was not supposed to be worn and flipped it to what it was supposed to be. You know what I mean?
Couldn't agree with you more.
Fashion, you know what I'm saying? So we took that shit to like the next level of what it is and what it is now, which is globally accepted. You know what I'm saying?
I think in New York, they feel like low was always supreme for us, you know, growing up in the early 90s. But the spin-offs growing up in New York, I'm not going to lie, like I was paying rent boosting, whether it be, you could walk down Broadway for days. Everything was up the back, Lizzie bag, keep it moving.
Yeah, it was a good old days, you know what I'm saying? Like, what I would give to know what I know now, to go back at that time.
Yeah.
But at least we had a part of that era, you know what I'm saying? And we took it with us, and that pretty much makes us who we are now. You know, like we all have a platform that we're building on. I'm able to be an artist, that I'm able to have my own business. That's, you know what I'm saying? That's right. And then, you know, what makes me happy is when I see other people, I aspire and inspire them to create or start something they didn't really think or they were hesitant to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's not about the money. Yeah, I got to pay bills. My daughter needs stuff. You know, that's just the typical capitalistic way of living. You know what I'm saying? But to inspire people to create their own thing because they were kind of scared to do it and kind of reluctant, for me, that's the most beneficial part of what I do, why I do it. You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
Each one teach one, help one grow one, help one build one. You know what I'm saying?
I've always loved that saying, bro. Each one teach one.
Think, yeah, man. I think if more people, you know, understood that, you know, the world won't be the way it is. But you know, that's a whole different conversation. Right. How that goes. You know what I mean? But you know, fashion is is important, man. You know, you put on a nice shirt, that's something different, you feel good. Get a nice cut, you feel good. You know what I'm saying? Put on some kicks, you feel good. Kind of boosts up your definitely your confidence level. So with hip hop, it changed so much. You know what I mean? For me, it did. You know what I'm saying?
I think fashion should be considered a element of hip hop.
Yeah, I mean, I consider, you know, part of the element of hip hop.
Definitely, people might debate that, but it's definitely an element of hip hop.
I always debate people on graffiti. The reason why I could debate that is because I know a lot of kids that didn't listen to hip hop that were graffiti writers. You know what I'm saying? But
that was not a popular. It's funny you say that. It was not a popular. The only other person I ever heard say that, yo, shout out to Kel 5MH. Yo, the only dude I ever heard say what you just said. That's a fact.
Because graffiti is its own Bible by itself. You know what I'm saying? It's its own separate world. But I understand how people want to coin it because it's like its own alphabet to the actual culture of hip hop.
Correct.
Because this is hip hop. You know what I mean? I wrote, this is not a typeface. This is my hand lettering.
Right.
We are the culture. That's my hand lettering. That's not a typeface. So we have our own sense of our own hieroglyphics. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
because graffiti goes back to hieroglyphic days.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Back to Egypt times.
Right.
So
that's right.
You know what I mean? I did my research and all that shit. But you know, fashion is definitely down to the sneakers, down to how you rock your sneakers, down to how we wear our hats a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Down to the type of hats we rock.
Bro,
you know
fashion is even regional now. Like you and I, you know how it is. Once you step out of New York or you step out of certain zones, how you dress dictates who you are.
Of course.
To the point, you know, the first time I went to Cali, someone gave me a quick mic check. They was like, "Yo, son, fam, you're gonna have to switch that, switch that. I was like, come on, for real? He's like, for real. Like, stop playing. He's like, yeah. So
when I lived in East New York, not to cut you off, I lived in East New York for about maybe 10, 15 years, right? I got approached like, yo, you dress like I'm cat from Harlem. Each borough has its own signature style of dressing.
Yes, sir.
And a lot of people won't understand that unless you're from that borough.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that was funny when they said that, like, nah, you know, I know the Harlem from La Marqueta growing up as a kid and going there with my, you know, my grandparents and my mom and my uncle and shit. But to hear that each borough has its own signature style. And just like you said, when you go to another state, that's a certain style. You can't rock that color, or you can't rock this, or you can't.
And then once I opened my mouth, they were like, "Oh, it's over."
Yeah,
Where
you know
from,
what I mean.
son?
So you know, your twang and how you speak.
Exactly.
I'm in Georgia now, son. So you can't. Once I start speaking, they know you're not from out here, son.
Nah, they
like,
know. Yeah, they know.
They really can tell. You know what I mean? So it's such a big influence the culture has, fashion wise.
Although for our age bracket, don't you feel that it's a little more open now? Like years ago, like in the early 90s, as a New Yorker, it was almost like, I'm from New York. But I feel like the whole world has a little tinge of New York a little bit. Like I feel like it's just, I don't know.
It's grown. It has grown because
You know,
it's grown to the point of like, you know, New York City is the mecca of a lot of shit. So like, why won't you want to be like the mecca?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like if the hotness is here, right? So let's dress like the hotness. You know what I'm saying? Yes, it's grown, and each state has their own little spin on things, but the culture has grown so much that.
But it's still hip hop. I can recognize it. It's hip hop.
It is hip hop, but it has its own like it has like evolved is what I'll call it. It has an evolution. Everything in life, it will evolve. Hip hop has evolved as well. Because remember, before hip hop, you had, you know, disco music, and everybody was dressing with some tight ass pants, wingtip collars. My dad wore platforms,
the outfits were straight.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that was the culture then. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Then we went from being so baggy clothes to everything look like it's statue power. Everything is stuck to you like it's a scuba suit.
Yo, isn't that dramatic? How we go from like disco to like straight, you know, black on black leathers, straight hood, like.
But it's just the evolution, and also too, you know, we as a street have to dictate that. We can't allow the powers that be to dictate it, because what they'll do, they'll start having you thinking this is the cool style, wear this blouse or wear this shirt dress, and then all of a sudden you got to explain to your son, yo, you shouldn't be wearing that. You know what I mean? Which they're trying to defeminize, you know, make men feminine. You know what I'm saying, on that level too. So
it's funny you say that. So. Oddly enough, it's funny you say that, because there was a conversation before I'm going live with you, and I could see how people get sensitive if you say the wrong thing. Certain people don't agree with that there's an agenda. I happen to think that there is. You just confirmed that there is. So whether it's a generational thing, whether it's your upbringing, whether it's a religious thing, it strikes you a little like, you know what I mean? You get a little taken back by it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
got you. And once again, you know, it starts from home, man. You gotta, you know, we have to still keep that core within our children to let them know that's cool, that shit ain't cool, that's cool, that shit. You know, once you set them out into the street, no doubt they're gonna do what they gotta do.
Right.
But if you don't instill that to them when they're in their home, you know what I'm saying? You know, you kind of like leading them to like a lost world, which once you go outside, it's a wrap. You know
yeah. Chris, you can lower the music just a little bit. I hear you, man. I hear you. But it goes.
But everything is all politics, son. So you gotta be careful who you talk to. It's like some people. There's certain people like in life. I tell people they're like waves. You got 5 minutes with this brother. You got 20 minutes I can stand you. 2 minutes I can stand you, and I can't talk to you about certain things. I definitely can't talk to you about certain things, and we're never gonna talk to you about you. You know what I mean? So you have to be proactive in what you know and how you know who to talk to. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta stand on your 10 toes. You know what I mean? And hold ground to what you believe in. Because if that's the case, then you know, if you abide by what they doing, then you're pretty much a sucker going with everything that they're telling you. You know
I actually told this person that there's always an agenda behind someone's point of view. Right?
That's why it's their point of view.
Yeah, my logic is this. Like, I don't, whether it's political, even music, I'm not going to trap you in my car and force you to listen to my music. Right? I'm not going to brainwash you. I'm not, you know what I mean? So, listen, live and let live. Just don't force me to see visions that I don't see.
And that's what's happening now. A lot of stuff is being forced. You know what I'm saying? And that's the problem. Is it's just being forced. But like I said, man, it starts from.
I think there's a lot of people that's in the middle. Like we have a good chunk of people that are in the middle, which is surprising because you're starting to see a lot of Latinos turning to the Republican Party now. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of, and it's also, I think, because once you start making a certain amount of money and you reach a certain threshold in life, I think you shed some of these old,
ideals.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So, it happens. You know what I'm saying? You always got to keep in mind, left wing, right wing, they're part of the same bird. You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
Don't forget that. You know what I mean? With that eye that you can't see in front of your eyes.
Keep your third eye open, you right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know what I mean? And your spirit will never leave you wrong. You know what I mean? Keep your spirit on point. You know what I mean? You got to have balance at everything. Spiritual, physical, mental. If that shit is off, man, you're gonna be walking backwards, man. You're gonna be living these stranger things.
I want to ask you, and not to get too political, but just because we're going in that kind of lane anyway. With the shirts you're putting out are definitely giving people a certain frequency. So how do you feel with Puerto Rico right now and its identity? Are you more towards independent? Are you more towards Commonwealth? Are you more?
I mean, I'm always been, Puerto Rico should be Puerto Rico, independent. That's it. It's its own islands, its own people. You know what I'm saying? They had some other shit like they wanted to make it like a half a state. I'm like, that's the same Commonwealth, son. What the fuck are you talking about? It's like I got you in a headlock, but you're your own country. Like, what's weird about it, you can be at the Olympics, your flag could be raised, but you're still not your own country.
Exactly.
You still can't vote into certain things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So for me personally, I think the people, should have their own. You know what I mean? And that's where, as a collective, now it's hard to say because one, we are the diaspora. We don't live on the island. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we over here in America. You know what I mean? So a lot of our words is cool, but if we don't have stuff on the island, our words kind of fall short. You get what I'm saying?
There's a big movement to buy back the island. Because I could clearly tell you there's a lot of towns that used to be very, very low key that is just a land grab now. And it's just one of those things that if you don't put light to it, in 10 years it would be
Puerto Rico will be a vacation spot. You know what I'm saying? Like, they'd be like, you remember those Puerto Ricans that used to live here? Yeah. And I do have a shirt. If you check on my website, it says Boricua Endangered Species. You know what I'm saying?
I did see that. Yes, sir. Yeah.
And I always tell people. So to your question, yes, the country should be independent. It's its own country. You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
Why would you ever want to be anything of something that took so many things from other people?
See, now that my friend, people outside of our frequency look at it as a revolutionary statement, right?
Of course.
So, but to me, that seems like common sense.
Oh, it's common sense, yes,
right?
Yes. But when you've been systematically programmed throughout your years, you know what I'm saying, and you've been fed the bullshit, and you keep allowing yourself to believe it, you're not going to be able to see the screens that they keep throwing in front of you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The revolution starts within yourself. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't believe it yourself, nobody else can convince you, hey, we should have the island for ourselves. If you don't believe it, I can't convince you. You know what I'm saying? Don't call yourself Boricua if you feel like, you have to have these people take care of you.
That was always my shit, is that there are thousands of people out here that have a Hispanic last name, but there's nothing Latino about them at all. Zero.
That's the Americanized part of them. And I myself, I've been living in New York City for my whole life, and I came out here. So yes, I am Americanized in certain ways. But the good thing about what I understand is I make the attempt to connect back to
the appreciation is there, of course.
You know what I'm saying? So yes, you got to learn the language. Without learning the language, you know what I'm saying, you can't understand the people. But if you can't learn the language, everything's still in English. Pick up a book in English.
Well, this is one thing, through mutual people, I always recommend tourism to go to PR, because I always feel like Puerto Rico doesn't do a good job of marketing itself as a tourist hub. Jamaica does, Curacao, St. Lucia, but Puerto Rico, a place that you don't even need your goddamn passport because you're a U.S. citizen. the language barrier isn't there because everyone is taught English just like in the States from first grade on, you know, so it's a tropical island at the end of the day. But it has become a land grab, you know, with all the tax exempts and everything going on with the island. But, you know, if you don't say something, you don't shed light to it, you fall for the dumbness. And, you know, 20 years.
20 years from now, you know, hopefully we don't have to have that conversation. You know what I'm saying? But that's where, as a people, you know, we have to get together, unify as a people.
I agree with you, my brother. I'm with you.
And that people over here, the Sporta, got to connect. You know what I'm saying? We are strong people, man. They scared of us, B.
You know it. You know it.
We the illest. I'll be honest, man. You know what I'm saying? There's articles I can bring up and tell people, yo, read that, and they'll tell you why.
And we come in different shades. Stop playing games.
You know what I'm saying? The black is all black, and to the light. And, but the thing is, you can look at a person. You know what I'm saying? Because not all Boricuas are black. Because if their ancestors never mixed with the Africans, you know what I'm saying? And they actually
more on the Spaniard side.
Spaniards, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, but yes, to your question, yes, we're every hue. Everything comes from black. That's why everything is a top black and it goes down. But you know, people are, you know what I'm saying? Once again, I put that in everything that I do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So a lot of my pieces, you know, what I do is I make it conversational pieces, B. I make you want to think when you look at my shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? My thing is like, if somebody passes, yo, just peep that shirt. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it would be this is why I say my audience is definitely your audience. It would be a conscious-minded individual who would be gravitating to you to the, you know, the wardrobe and the tees and the hats and everything, because they would understand it. It's a frequency that they're on. And listen, if you're not checking for my man right now, you're missing out right now. You know what I mean? My man is grinding. My man is out here putting quality content, quality material. You know what I mean? We definitely gotta connect.
I just do what I gotta do, man. I just do what I gotta do, brother. You know what I'm saying? That's really it, son. Like,
I have a few events.
I know you say we get into the 40-minute mark, son. Yep. So I don't know how that's gonna work. You
wanna come back for a part 2?
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah.
All right, cool. So we're gonna come back for a part 2 after, you know, we wrap it up. But as it goes, you know, we'll streamline it back in. Do you take offense when people may consider you a Latin artist or a Latin designer?
Don't pigeonhole me. I'm an artist. You know what I'm saying? You know, like don't market my culture.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why we are. I'm just an artist. You know what I'm saying? I do what I do. And I don't even like to say an artist because I just create, man. I'm a creator and I have a gift for imagination and I produce it. Whether it's on, you know what I'm saying, a piece of wood that my grandmother had in her bedroom, and I actually put my artwork on it because I prefer doing organic pieces and buying an actual canvas. You know what I mean? There's more story to tell. But to your question, I'm an artist all around, man. It wouldn't make a difference if I was Latin. You know what I mean?
That's how it should be.
That should be the killing. How would I say the selling point? You know what I mean?
Right.
But I'm one of the nicest Boricua artists out there. You know what I mean? I definitely put that shit on my back.
You're working. You know what I mean? You're definitely working.
I pay my dues, you know what I'm saying? And I do what I gotta do for the culture and for our people.
Yo, Goya, you better pay attention.
Yeah, I definitely will give myself that credit, you know what I'm saying? Because, I put in work. This shit didn't happen overnight, man. I've been doing this for a long time, you know what I'm saying? All the way from public school to Hillcrest High School to having some time in college, went to FIT, Fashion Institute of Technology in the city. You know what I mean? A kid from Queens, having the opportunity to go into college, which
that was the all city. I'm not gonna lie, that was the all city jump off. Like everyone from all boroughs, so you get exposed, you get to meet, you get to grind. A lot of networking in that spot.
Because a lot of people from the boroughs have this figment of imagination that when you get to Queens, that shit just falls, and that's like the end of the world.
Right.
People in Brooklyn get to a certain spot, there's nothing else. So our era, we used to take photos. We used to go photo bombing. So we used to go to the Bronx. We used to go to Co-op City. We used to go to the Mount Vernon yards. We used to go to the Freedom Tunnels. You know what I'm saying? I exposed myself. We used to go to Rocksteady when Rocksteady had parties. You know what I'm saying? You get the super pat down from Zulu Nation. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much like, you got to expose yourself, man. And if you feel too comfortable in what you do, you're not going to grow.
Right.
You got to put yourself out there, you know what I'm saying? So for me, man, I'm happy that I went to a college in the city that opened my eyes to a lot of things. I went to school for advertising. which the irony is at that time, I didn't know what the fuck I was going to school for. I just got busy with the pen. Now that helps me with my business. So the universe works in mysterious ways, and it sets a plan out for you that you might not understand. But if you keep following what you got to do, everything works out. It's perfect. You know
having the education definitely is the foundation. That's definitely going to help because it gives you that little toolage. It gives you something to fall back on.
Man. Just in case, like a ball player fucks his knee up, what are you going to do? You have to have something else. You have to, one thing about COVID, I tell people, COVID has taught me how to have a pivot. You know what I'm saying? So if option A is closed, option B is closed, C, D, E, F, G. You know what I'm saying? Like I got into doing dioramas with another fellow Boricua. We collaborate now. That's why I got the Pirawa trucks, and that's why I do the telephone. You know what I mean? So, and I got other stuff. I do music too, son. So it's like there's a lot of layers.
Oh, you do music also?
Yeah, son. Yeah, I do music.
Nice. I didn't realize it.
But the thing about it is, you know what I mean? You got to do what works, you know what I mean? And the artwork is what works, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I push the artwork so hard.
The artwork does work, and there hasn't been a lot of people like yourself, or there's a handful of other people that I've managed to meet who can do both things. There's such a lane. Listen, when I've done my own art curated parties, if I could bring 100, 200 people down, they're buying art off the wall. They're uploading the album. We're playing the instrumentals. It all works. You know what I'm saying? So it all works. You gotta be independent. You gotta be out there grinding, man. You gotta be out there grinding, cause Lord knows, if you could play multiple positions, you got value on the team. That's it. You know what I mean? That's it. And I'm gonna bring my man back up so he could kind of co-sign that a lot of you people are just lazy at the end of the day. You can't be a lazy artist, man. There's nothing worse than a lazy artist, because you can have talent, but if there's no motherfucking passion, it's the worst. It's the worst. I'd rather have someone who has passion and motivation than just raw talent at the end of the day. I'm pretty sure most people agree. Because if you played ball before, someone could be super duper talented, but they have no motivation. They don't run for the ball. They're not sliding. They're not diving. You're like, yo, man, you know what? Moses, you're not on my team. You're done. That's it. You're done. But we're going to get my man back on here. We're going to talk, because we all know that hip-hop fashion is the backbone to everything right now. Hip-hop is selling everything right now. It's a global entity. It's a system within the system. Remember when hip-hop was looked at, frowned upon, They used to look at you like, what do you mean you like hip-hop? How dare you? But so we're gonna set him up in a hot second. But that's usually what it is, man. If you're not out here grinding and you're not out here really like rocking, putting content out, people forget you, man. Because hip-hop is a forgetful sport. People forget, man. You'll be out the window quick if you ain't putting out content. Hip-hop is ruthless. Hip-hop is ruthless. Shout out to everyone who has the new submissions in. We got about 10 to 15 new submissions, music. We're going to be going through some submissions later on in the podcast. And we also have a new guest coming up next after this on the part 2 stream. I am Mr. Tom Brody, and this is the Cheers to the Real podcast, live stream on YouTube. We're here, Mixerhead Studios, Queens, New York. You know what it is. Shout out to all my people from Queens. We were here, BOBBITO Ross, clothing designer. Got a lot of merch out. Got t-shirts, hats, got everything, We got them coming up there, Dave. What's going on? All right. Yeah, why not? Where we go? Let's pump that music up a little bit. Yo, this is from the new instrumental album, Tom Brody Long Wolf Volume 8. Got joints coming on deck. New album dropping the 30th. Instrumentals only. Put my production hat on. Threw out some new content. Shout out to all the artists. Shout out to the underground. Shout out to everybody calling in right now. Yeah. We got the new instrumental album, July 30th. Yes, sir. And we got we're performing live in Bushwick, Monday, 9 p.m. Brooklyn, New York City. DM me, send you the address. And we also have another live art curated party, July 21st at the Art Cave. I'll be showcasing the new Beach Bum series, canvases, original digital prints. It's gonna be nice, man. It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be a nice turnout. You know what it is. We're grinding. We're grinding. It's a labor of love out here, baby. It's a labor of love out here. You know? There we go. But that's what it is, man. I'm telling the people, it's a real labor of love, man. I'm actually, you know, when you stepped off, I'm letting the people know it's a labor of love. It just don't stop. Just really don't stop.
It don't stop at all, man. It's just like, you know what I mean? I tell people this, and I tell everybody who's watching that eventually sees this, man. If you wake up in the morning, you bless.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Do what you got to do today, because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. But you do what you do today, puts your footprints for tomorrow.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Go out there and get it. You know what I mean? Not even yourself as an obstacle. You know what I mean? Don't use yourself as an excuse. You know what I mean? Once you conquer that understanding, there is no fear. Fear is just something that they just use to hold you back. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
There's nothing you can't get. You know what I'm saying? Nothing.
I wanna you know, as you were gone, I was just letting the people know that, you know, regardless of anything, we got to stay motivated. You got to just keep putting out content.
Of course,
you know, it's very easy to get sidetracked and demotivated with life, but we stay on course. You stay productive. So I want to ask you something just with the context of fashion. How do you feel about today's current fashion?
That shit's weird, son. That shit's weird. But I mean, like, you know, like anything in life that I was telling you earlier, it's evolution. You know what I'm saying? So, but on that note, just because it's evolving don't mean that shit's good. You know what I'm saying? But once again, you know, that's to each his own. I'm not gonna knock anybody for rocking what you want to do. Live your life, man. You know what I'm saying? Do you wear what you gotta wear? You know, appease to what you want to appease to.
I guess it's kind of like I'll use the analogy of kind of music. You know, it's a barrel of rubbish. You just gotta find things that kind of you kind of rock with, and you know, even the sneaker game. I mean, how many retro could we do, and you see them and you're like, bro.
Listen, we came from the era that, you know, like, everything was number one. There was no retros. So why do I want to rock something after I rocked the shit the first time? Don't try to hit me in the head for $800 when I rocked that shit for $60.
Let me tell
you. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, I'm not a Jordan head. You know what I'm saying? I don't rock Jordans. You know what I'm saying?
Never did.
I'd rather dunks. You know what I'm saying? You know what else? So I try to go. Everybody's going right. I'm a lefty. I'll go left.
I hear you. No, that's a fact. That's a fact.
So, you know, with the fashion, once again, the powers that be are going to dictate the fashion. But that's not the street. That's not the culture. The culture has to still be the culture. You know what I'm saying? So those who know. Those who don't know won't know.
And I think you just hit it on the head. The street is the culture.
Yeah. Hip hop started in the street. Graffiti started, if you want to go to graffiti real quick, started in the yards. Hip hop started in the actual in the parks and everything like that. That's the street, man. It's a street that made something that wasn't supposed to be marketed.
People forget this is urban street culture. Listen, people may have a certain sexuality, people may be doing certain things that you as an individual don't co-sign, but when it's all done and said, the bulk and meat and potatoes of this thing right here is urban street culture.
Yeah. They just try to gentrify everything, so they try to gentrify the culture. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, it's there already though. It's like overkill.
No, it's been there, but as you can see, it started like, you know, if you look back in our era, you can start seeing the trickle of how it started moving. You know, you take out certain MCs, you start limiting certain MCs. You know what I mean? You start putting certain people in. Okay, cool. Why? Because if you put these funny ass people in there, they're willing to say yes to do everything you want them to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if you take out the realness of hip hop and you put everything that's not, that's fabricated, that's pretty much like a facade. You know what I mean? It's like like a vase that's not real on the inside, but looks good on the outside. That's what they use to market and sell to people. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I mean, to your question, man, it is what it is. Just stay true to yourself. That's it, man. You know, everything's gonna change, you know, in life. But at it's the same thing as you just evolve as a human being. Don't worry about changing. I never change into a bat. You know, listen, I'm still who I am. You know what I
mean? we from definitely the same root, and we will admit, and I'm always blown away on it. Like hip hop artists, Biggie or Jay-Z, whoever was hot at the time, was kind of like, listen, urban youth did not know about Versace, you know about Gucci. Well, Gucci, yeah, but it was the Gucci, but you know we Prada, Fendi,
no.
What? Don't get me twisted. I got pieces, right? I got it. I like it. I got it. But it's these hip hop artists that kind of put us onto it.
Of course, because they were living a lifestyle that they could afford it. You know what I'm saying? Right. So they can actually get to that level of, you know, wealth. You know what I'm saying? You know, I remember when in high school, when they started wearing those Prada shoes in high school, those shits were ugly as hell. You know what I'm saying? But that's when you can get Prada at Century 21. You know what I mean?
I was convinced that Italian leather hit different.
You know what I'm saying? So it was just their way of kind of pushing it. But the sad part about it is, right, you got these artists that ain't got a problem going to Fendi or Balenciaga or cualquiera, whatever names out there. But your homie got his own label. He got his own clothing line.
That was my problem, right? That's what I was.
And you know, you bitch to me, yo, son, why your hat's $50? Yo, you didn't say nothing to Nike when you spent $600 on fucking sneakers.
You got nerve.
I mean? But
yeah.
I'm starting from the bottom up. You know what I mean? Trying to do something for myself and my people, or for mainly, you know, start something. And you bitching about a $50 sale. But you ain't have a problem, you know, spending about yuck money for that. You know what I'm saying? You didn't hit up Nike and ask them for a deal. But you trying to hit me up for a discount?
I read, you'll find this interesting. I read an article how a lot of top tier hip hop artists are now bootlegging, or not bootlegging, but they're boycotting some of these big brands because they feel they're not getting that respect, you know, when they walk in the door. Which, you know,
I mean, they should have known that from jump. You know what I mean? To be honest. Polo said it a long time ago, Ralph Lauren. So when we were still boosting, it was a good thing because it wasn't meant for black people and urban kids. You know what I mean? It wasn't meant for street kids.
It initially, you know I don't think people get that. Like initially,
wasn't meant for us.
No, if you understand, like even from the early '80s, the type of people or who it was meant for, it is not meant for urban youth. Yeah, I think he did a good job.
It was for like silver spoons. You see Ricky Schroeder with the polo. You see different strokes.
But that Ricky Schroeder, yo, shout out to Ricky Schroeder.
Word up, sound like you see different strokes, or you see the customables. You know, that's some make believe shit, B. You know what I'm saying? Yes, there are professional people out there, but come on, man,
Ricky Schroeder. I'm gonna make up a dance called the Ricky Schroeder.
That's when I seen the polo, and you see everything with the flip collars. Like, damn, they got the flip collars. That shit looks dope. But you wasn't getting that shit in the neighborhood, son.
Nah.
You was getting it by boosting it. So you know,
with the penny loafers.
Yeah, son, you wasn't getting that, man. You was not getting that, B. And you know, the culture should have known that when just because you got money don't mean you fit in.
I think this is where us as a culture went left. We assumed that everything that was $1,000 meant it was dope.
Yep. And also they took it the wrong way. It's dope, but they thought that those people were gonna accept them because they had that dope shit.
Correct.
No. They just got you as a sucker because now whatever money you bust your ass making it, you giving it right back to them. Yeah. And they're not giving anything back to the culture.
Not only did you buy some furry corny shit, but they laughing at you as you bought that furry corny shit.
Because they don't wear that shit.
No, they don't wear that shit. I learned this. I'm gonna make this a true story. So in my professional world, do marketing also on a corporate level. I happened to bill with someone. He said, hey, come out to this golf event. No problem, right? So now me being me, I want to keep it jazzy, keep it smooth, you know what I mean? I went there with the low golf, with the old school, man, hooking off with the 92, bam. Yo, I look so Hollywood.
Yeah.
that I ran to the car and changed up.
Of course.
I was
They don't rock that shit.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
And after I got to know him, because he's way older than me, you know, he's in his 70s, he was like, listen, when you got money, you're low key.
Of course. That's how you got money.
You move in stealth.
Word up.
And I had to respect him for that. Because this is a man now that is sitting in a, you know, $4 million house in Miami, smoking a, you know, $200 cigar. So his furry slippers hit different.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, man. Without a doubt, man.
He living it. I'm like, oh,
these are the New Balance people. Right. You know what I'm saying? These are the Honda Civic driving people.
My little nephew said, "Yo, Unc, you getting old? You wearing New Balance?" I was like,
"They're comfortable for your feet. They don't hurt my fucking feet like those Jordans do, son. The fuck out of here." You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to walk.
Unc is getting old. I'm wearing New Balance.
Yeah, and they can't even, they scared to crease their sneakers and shit. Like, I had one pair of sneakers all year, son, and my pop was only getting me one when I had to bust a hole in the front.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then until I bought my own, but nah, the only way you can keep money is, you can't be flashy. You know what I mean? And the ones who got money don't spend that money.
But those brands are smart. The New Balance, like North Face. I'll give you another smart brand like Maramont. It was funny. Like a few years ago, all my Harlem people was like, "Yeah, we steaming them." I'm like, "Fam, we was wearing Maramonts in fucking '93, bro." Because everyone started jumping on the North Face shit, and we try to be different. You know what I'm saying? Like,
we're the only culture that will wear shit that's not even meant for the culture. Like Timberlands are not meant to be worn just to chill, first of all. And hip hop has took that company too. You know what I'm saying? But that's what hip hop does. We take shit that's invented and we reinvent it.
You a New Yorker. You chilling in Miami or Brazil, and you see what? How dare you come out here
and
with
like
Tim's?
I know your feet hurt with them shits on, B. Them shits ain't got no soul. You know what I'm saying? But
yo, fam, where you from? You from Brooklyn? Oh, you gave it up, son.
Oh, you got the
beef and broccolis.
You know what I mean? So like, I know your feet hurting, son, but you styling hard, B. You styling real hard.
I like those beef and broccolis. You know what I mean?
It is what it is, but that's one thing we have to teach ourselves. You know what I'm saying? You can't keep money if you keep spending money on other people who don't give back to yourself and to your community. And that's why I do what I do. That's why I always keep a sale on my site, because it's my way of telling people thank you. You could have took your money and went somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I'm always gonna have a sale for now, because that's just my way of saying I appreciate you because you took your time out to support a brother who's doing what he's doing.
And because you're doing that. Because you're doing that and it makes it more personable, you're going to grow. It's authentic. I'm a big believer. Like I tell people, I'd rather have solid people that get it and fuck with me than a fraudulent 20 million. Homie, cut it out with your bots. Stop it. You know
that
what
shit
I mean?
Don't work. See, like my pages all build organically. Man.
Exactly.
That's not bots. That's not me getting those DMs. 10,000 followers.
I see the labor. I see the growth.
Come on, man.
Yeah, man. I see it.
It's all real people. You know what I mean? Like, I tell you right now, the real stars of my company is the people I put on my page that actually buy stuff from me. You know what I mean? So that's the star.
I noticed that. I think that's perfect that you do that. You're really highlighting the person and the individual. That's
because that, without people, just like, not to cut you off, without the customer, where are you?
Wait, you heard that, Low?
No, without the customer, where are you? You know what I'm saying? No, to each his own, man. Business is shady as fuck. That's why it's business. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I grew up on, ethics. You know what I mean? Morality. I grew up with, love, compassion. I come from an era that don't exist no more.
Damn,
you know what I mean? I go from an era that, I knew my grandparents. You know what I mean? They dropped jewels on me, and I wish they were around so I could speak to them now, because what I know. You get what I'm saying? And those conversations will be different now. You get what I mean? But at the end of the day, man, we were built different. That's why we as an artist, mom and dad didn't take me to no art store. You know what I'm saying? I used whatever bullshit pen I had in the house, son. You know what I mean? Mommy and daddy were not taking me to like Art Station or Pearl Paint. You know what I'm saying? They weren't doing that shit. Yo, when I got into college, check this out. My pop dukes had to come with me to get art supplies. Homie almost had a heart attack because he had to spend this $300. And that shit ain't nothing for art supplies, son.
Listen, that acrylic hit different.
Yeah, so I come from a school where, you know, you took the basic, you know, the little means what you had and you made that shit to something else. So if you would see my studio is my bedroom, man. You know what I'm saying? I take the very little of what I have and make it, you know, so it's not what you got, it's how you use what you got.
Amen. Amen.
That's hip hop, and that's what hip hop is, you know, and that's what makes hip hop such a beautiful thing, and the culture and the fashion, because we take something that's not meant to be used for that and we make it something else.
Well said. Well said.
You know what I'm saying?
And I think I definitely want people when they hear it, because it's gonna be blasted out on different platforms. I want people to really get it. He's active on social media. He got no problem engaging you, sending you a size you need. He got sizes on deck. And he has a lot of
service
stuff
is
on
key,
deck.
man. I'm all about customer service, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's not just, you know what I mean? I'll flip it like, I'll flip it on other levels. Hit the
fire.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So my main thing is, man, like, just keep pushing. You know what I mean? Like, so that's one thing. You know, growing up as a kid in the late 70s, you know what I mean, wearing bell bottoms and going to Coney Island on the Himalaya, going on, you know, the cyclone almost breaking your neck, because that shit just was like, you know what I'm saying? You know, can't put your hands too high because you get them chopped off. You know what I'm saying? Having those experiences is what made me who I am today. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I do what I do. You know
I actually think, my brother, you are inches away from just getting your own storefront and going all out.
I see it coming.
Yep.
You know what I mean? The main thing is, you know, keep your humility. You know what I'm saying? Stay authentic, stay genuine.
And that's why I'm here. I'm here to co-sign, right? Because we all coming up together. But I'm here to co-sign the energy, because it's there, my brother. And you ready? Yeah, bro. This is what we do, son. And as an artist myself, I know, like, sometimes you could deviate, but the labor of love is there, and it will always grow and shine, and others will see it, and that's why they support it, right? Because there's a storyline behind the product. Nobody want no vanilla and just bland
product.
Man,
I don't fuck with vanilla.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody want, like, generic clone, you know, content. We want originality, bro. We want a story behind what we wear. You know what I mean?
And everything I do, you know, pretty much, I'm gonna say 100% of what I do, there's a story behind it. I don't, you know, if I don't like it, I can't give it out to anybody. I don't just do shit just to do shit, because that's not me, man. If I can't rock it, you're not gonna rock it. So I got to make sure I like it. And
originality,
that's what
baby.
Man. We have to enjoy what we do. I mean, I have fun. I have fun with what I do. You know what I mean? Like shout out to the homies, you know, like, that I fuck with now. Like, you know, DJ G.I. Joe. You know, that's a close homie of mine.
No doubt.
That's my brother right there. You know, we build. You know, we do music. You know what I mean? We do other things. So, you know, you to one of your points is, you got to keep yourself surrounded by people that keep pushing you.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And the main thing is, as long as you keep pushing yourself, you know, keep people around you.
Yep. Agreed.
That's good. That's going to elevate you, you know, steel sharpen shield, you know what I'm saying, on that level. So salute to that brother, you know what I mean? Salute to the other brother, Tone, in Canada. You know, we do the dioramas and the miniature stuff.
The miniature stuff,
yeah, man, because it's like,
you got one on deck you could just show real quick?
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is the actual Coca-Cola vending machine.
And again, there are thousands and millions of collectors of art. I'm trying to tune you in to real New York culture right here. You know this is real New York culture.
Let me show you something else.
This is
the Wu-Tang miniature freight.
Love it, my brother. I love it. We're gonna activate the people. We're gonna have everybody tuned in. This is beautiful content.
So, you know, it's a little bit of everything, man. This is hand painted artwork I got. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
You know, so, you know, with the culture, getting back to what you're saying, like, you know what I mean? It don't go stale, because it only goes stale on how you are as a person. You know what I'm saying? So, like, the great part about it, I give everybody a jewel now. Don't lose that child in you. That kid that little girl, that little boy that always wanted to do something, don't kill that kid off. Because once you do it, you're done. And for me, that's what hip hop is, keeping that kid alive. You know what I'm saying? So now I get to relive everything as that kid that I wasn't able to do because I didn't have the resources. The resources is a lot. So once you got the resources, you're now able to now manifest everything you couldn't do as a kid. You know what I mean? Not because you couldn't, because you didn't have certain things. You know what I'm saying? So my jewel is what I do is keep myself young and keeping that kid alive. And now I'm actually able to do everything I wanted to do when I was younger. I could do it now. And I build with a lot of people that, you know what I mean? We build organically. You know, we don't have to talk about music. We don't have to talk about art. I always ask people, yo, how you doing? Because your mental health is key. You know what I mean? If I can't build you like that, I don't really care about making no money with you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like what's mine is mine already. I'm going to get it. Not even myself can stop me from getting it. But if you don't treat people like people, that tells a lot about you when judgment day comes and they weigh your ass up.
I don't care what business you have, customer service 101, and my man got it with kid gloves, man. This is what we need. You want to just I want you to reel the people in. How can they find you? What are you working on? What projects we got coming up? You know, let the people know.
Got you. Well, to find me, you go to the website. It's www.bobbitoross, BOBBITOROSS.com. You can also find me on Instagram. The same handle is BOBBITOROS, Bobbito Ross. Also on Facebook is Bobbito Ross 75. I'm working on. I have a song dropping with DJ G.I. Joe. It's called Something Random. That's dropping soon. Yeah,
no doubt.
I have a song right now with him and Jaguar Ariola. If y'all go to my bio, it's actually there. You know, I'm featured on that track. I got some collectibles coming out too. I'm actually doing some custom skateboard decks. You know what I mean? I'll be dropping soon.
I'm tuned in for that. I gotta introduce you. My man just opened up West Side skate shop.
Okay.
Chris, I gotta plug you in him because he got a lot of merch on the walls, brand new shop. So once you get that on deck, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So I'm working on that. Yeah, I'm working on that. I got new pieces coming out with the homie Tone, with our company that we're doing that's dealing with resin art. You know, we got stuff coming out. So anybody wants any custom work like that, but the Piragua that we just had, it's sold out, but we take pre-orders. And I'm constantly just dropping new shit, man. Like I designed 2 new shirts on the website. They're on the website. I didn't talk about them yet because it being called La Marqueta, there's nothing you can't get at the market. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's from Spanish Harlem. I used to go there as a kid. And my grandparents used to take me, my mom and my uncle and stuff. So we used to see so many things that you couldn't get because Puerto Ricans, a lot of Boricuas lived out here. So La Maqueta had everything that you can get from the island that you can give to the people that were living in the area. Correct. So hence why it's called La Marqueta. But, just stay tuned in, man. I'm a type of dude that I make it where it's very easy to communicate with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm a man of the people, by the people, for the people. So,
yes, I like that.
I make it very easy. You know what I'm saying? I'm open for custom work. Anybody's interested, just hit me up. Just DM me and we go from there. You know what I'm saying? Like I got limited hats, exclusive hats that you only can get through me, not on the website. These right here. You know what I'm saying?
I love that.
Guantes de campeones. Everybody might have the gloves hanging from their car and stuff.
Love that.
I'm saying? I got my pin game is heavy, so there's a lot of pins that I got. You know what I mean? In my accessory section.
Pins are a big thing now.
Yeah,
on
my
the
pin
caps.
game is heavy, man. So I got my pin game is heavy. I got a few. Give me a second.
Yeah, man. Let me see some. People sleep. Listen, there's a whole new movement. You throw nice pins on your cap, and it's a beautiful thing. It kind of gives a little touch, a little flair. There you go.
So, this is Young Lord's one right there.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Competent, no doubt.
Right, so I did show you how the gloves. You can't have the pins. You know what I mean?
Fire.
This one's a big conversation piece. You know what I'm saying?
Beautiful. Beautiful.
And then, I have a little bit of everything, man, down to patches. There's one thing about, going back to fashion and hip hop and, us being a black culture and us being Borinquen. There's nothing we can't do.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So if you could take time out, during COVID, you should have learned something. You know what I mean? So you should have took time out.
Amen.
If you was home, learn how to be a parent again. Learn how to talk to your lady or you talk to your husband or your
should have been some sort of growth.
Yes. You know what I mean? And so for me, it was able, it helped me, like I was saying earlier, pivot to do other things. And lucky I surround myself with good people, you know what I mean?
Right.
Keep my family good. And keep your core of individuals, very select.
My brother, you're gonna win regardless. You got great energy. You got amazing content.
Appreciate it. Appreciate
you know,
it.
and again, I'm meeting him through mutual people, but it's just because we're so active. We're both so active. I've been trying to catch up to him. Like, yo, I gotta get you up to the
he
show.
Actually tried to hit me up when I was still in New York at the time.
Yeah,
and
man.
It wasn't working. And then when I came out here, it just happened to work out now.
No, and it's funny because initially I was trying to get you on board with something that we were doing in Aguadilla. And I wanted you to come down because I was trying to get a lot of people, you know, grab heads from NY. We were gonna get a lot of tables, which we're gonna do. We'll speak off camera. We're gonna do something nice. Yeah. And we're gonna build because I actually have a few art events coming up. So, you know, we're gonna cross reference and kind of, you know, link up. But dope. Again, appreciate you coming up, my brother.
Thank you, man. You know, cheers to the real. You know what I mean? Thank you for having me on. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate everybody, man. Just stay focused, stay inspiring. And I always tell people, siempre pa'lante como el elefante. Keep going forward, always like the elephant, man. And keep that mentality. Yeah, y'all be good, man. Much blessing and much respect for my family to yours, man.
Saluda,
and
primo.
Keep doing what you do because you inspire the culture. You part of the culture. We are the culture.
Yo, I appreciate you, my brother.
Much respect, man. Thank you.
Thank you, my brother. Once again, yo, tune in. You know what it is, man. This is the Cheers of the Real podcast. I am Mr. Tom Brody, episode 10, live stream out here. We doing it, man. We got a second guest coming up soon. Underground icon. He's out here rocking with the people. Hope I got him on deck. I'm going to bring him out here soon. But listen, I got to tell you, he kind of laid it out that this is a real labor of love, and you got to be out here grinding. You got to be out here shaking hands. You got to be out here putting content, man. That's what it is, man.